Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Jonathan Lipp here from the Big Apple Film Festival, and thanks for coming to another episode of BAFF Chats. We are here today with Eric Trenkamp, who made a great film called American Bomber. If you can tell us a little bit about American Bomber.
American Bomber is a feature film about a disgruntled U.S. soldier who moves to Brooklyn, New York to become the first American born and raised suicide bomber.
Now, American Bomber is screened not only at Big Apple, but it's played at a variety of festivals. If somebody's making a film right now, a lot of people that watch this show are emerging filmmakers, and they're looking to enter the film festival circuit, how important do you think it is to utilize film festivals to promote your work? Do you feel that they're a necessary part of the process?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, all the exposure we got, reviews, we got a distributor. That was just a culmination of the festival experience. I mean, just playing at Big Apple, at the Tribeca, that was a major stepping stone for us in terms of exposure, of getting a distributor, and getting our film out there so people could see it, because it took us a really long time to make it, and it was so gratifying to see people watching it and enjoying it, in an actual movie theater.
And, in terms of, when you look at the festival circuit, a very large percentage of filmmakers are looking for Sundance, Toronto, Berlin, etc., like, the major festivals. But it's so challenging to get into those. I mean, I know that Sundance this year got about 15,000 submissions, and they accepted 125, 150 films. Can the smaller festivals be a good avenue?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't mind? Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the thing with the major fests, like if you look at Sundance as an example, is even the films that get into Sundance, I forgot the exact stat, but the majority of them, 60 to 80%, don't actually walk away with any deal. So you work your butt off, and then you go all the way out to Park City, and then you walk away with nothing. The brilliance of the smaller festivals is that there is room for the smaller budget film, the scrappier film, the film that doesn't have an A-lister in it, but has real heart and real talent and is actually trying to say something. I love Sundance and I love Slam Dance. In Toronto and all the big festivals. And I love the films that come out, but every year they're more and more just kind of lower budget studio fare. And if you really want to see, the type of indie that I grew up on in the '90s, the Clerks, the Reservoir Dogs, the different type of films, you really got to go to a smaller festival like Big Apple, to find that kind of fare.
Awesome. Thank you. And also in terms of distribution, can you talk a little bit about how you were able to find a distributor for your film and actually where, we can see it?
Great. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, no, we got picked up by IndiePix Films. Okay. Right when we got accepted into Big Apple. In fact, we'd been talking with them for a while. My film, American Bomber, was originally a short film, and I sent it to them as a short, and they're like, yeah, we're really interested in this. If you ever, make a feature out of it, let us know. So we made the feature and we sent it to them, and they were like, all right, well, let us know how you do. And we got into, I think, 2 or 3 fests before we got accepted into Big Apple, but when we got into Big Apple, every time we got an acceptance, I reached out to them. And then when I was like, hey, we got into Big Apple, we're going to screen at Tribeca, that's when they were kind of like, all right, we have to sign you. Awesome. So it's, the great thing about distribution is that you no longer have to pay for anything. Like posters, they're paying for, international, actually, I'm sorry, do you mind if I take that back? I don't want to talk too much about my deal points. Okay. Sorry, my bad. No, the thing about distribution, especially in my experience, is there's so many films and there are only so many distributors, and like the company IndiePix that's releasing American Bomber. We got into, I think, 2 or 3 fests before we got accepted into Big Apple, and they were like, we were on their radar, But it was like once we got into Big Apple, you know, and I emailed them. I'm like, you know, we got into another fest. We got into Big Apple. We're going to screen at Tribeca. That's when they're like, done. It's, you know, they sent me the deal memo. Deal done. And it's been great. You know, like I said, it's nothing better than having people that you've never met come up to you and be like, oh, you did American Bomber? That was such a great film. And you find out that, like, you know, a friend of theirs had the DVD, or they streamed it off the IndiePix site, or, you know, they heard about it at the festival and they tracked it down. So yeah, the smaller festival, you know, like Big Apple, you know, is invaluable in terms of the smaller film getting that distribution deal, because without it, you know, I put my movie up on YouTube and then just cross my fingers, and it's so much more satisfying to have a, you know, professional marketing team getting my film out there.
IndiePix. Awesome. Well, I want to thank Eric for being here with us today. American Bomber is on IndiePix, so definitely check it out. And thank you so much for being with us today. Appreciate it. All right, thanks a lot, guys.